Hello guys, welcome back to another Cinematic Mike review. Today I'm reviewing the Duffer Brothers Netflix series Stranger Things. As you all know, Stranger Things was put on hold since the pandemic hit. I think it was supposed to come out a little bit earlier, but the pandemic hit and I think they or another production that got stopped during that time, and we barely got it now in 2022. So it does feel like it's been a long time since Stranger Thing 3 season 3. And going back to it, I had a lot of fun. I got to say that I did enjoy this season. I think it's an amazing season. It was cool for me because the past months, like the end of last year and this year, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? There's no show that I'm watching. I don't have anything that's getting my attention. Like none of the things that I'm into. All the things that I like, they're either done or they're still haven't made the other season yet. So I got into a few things. I got into Tokyo Vice a little bit, but it's kind of like a half and half. I did like the pilot episode directed by Michael Mann. I tried watching Halo. I did watch Halo, I think up to episode 7, and I just gave up because, dude, that thing looks horrible. Like I did like the 5th episode. I like the pilot episode, but the story gets kind of lame. The writing is kind of bad. The acting is bad. And overall, one of the last episodes that I saw, the CGI was horrible. Felt like I wanted to throw up looking at all that CGI. So now we're back right here with Stranger Things season 4, and the cast is all back. It's really kind of odd and weird because you see the cast they're all big kids now. They're not the same like adorable little kids we saw in like season 1, 2, and 3. They look really older. A few of them look the same, but most of them, they all look older already. They look like they're probably already in their 20s or they're gonna be in their late 20s already. They just look so old already. But it was amazing to go back to that world again, seeing what was the fun of all about it. It's kind of weird because you don't know when there's like a gap, a long time from when they do some shows do this where they take long to do the other season, and people are like, oh, when's it gonna come? And then by the time it gets here, we're kind of like tired of it already, or the season it's not as good as it was, or we something else is much better now. But to be honest, season 4 of this was freaking amazing. It was worth the wait. I think it's an incredible season. I loved it. There is some issues with the like runtime, I guess. A lot of people were talking about the runtime or before it even premiered. And I looked it up and I saw I'm okay with runtimes, I guess, as long as usually I usually see shows that always last like an hour and they're fine. And as I say with movies too, as long as it's still entertaining me and it still has a story, I'm still hooked from beginning to end, it's fine. If you don't know how to work that out, then yeah, that's a problem. And that's an issue that I had with the episode 1 and episode 2. It did take a little bit longer. I was getting into it and I understood, it's been a long time. We need to get like a little refresher of what happened, where we left off, where these characters are at now. And so I was watching episode 1, I think, and then I got to a point where it's like kind of felt like it was dragging already. And I'm like, oh man, this is kind of dragging. And I felt like the other seasons, the first episode, they always got right to a point, like in the middle or so, where you got what the story is going to be about, who the villain is, what the excitement's going to be and all. And that doesn't happen until the very end of the first episode. The other thing is I was going to try to watch 3 episodes in one day. And by the time episode 2 was over, I thought I was already on 3. And then when I looked, I was like, damn, I'm still on episode 2. That felt like it was already 3 and it wasn't even 3. And I couldn't watch episode 3 because it was late. So yeah, there's a little issue with the runtime right there. I will say by the time you get to episode 3, that's when all that stuff comes back. So just be patient. And by the time you get to the 3rd episode, you should be back to how we all felt with all the Stranger Things and everything. So yeah, I got to episode 3. I watched 3 and the whole rest of it the next day. I binged it all when I got home from work. I really wanted to see it. I usually try to watch these because I hate that YouTube, the internet, Facebook, all that, Instagram, they all thumbnails and everything. They all end up spoiling it for you with all this stuff. Sometimes like spoiler scenes, someone already put it up. They're like, oh, the scene where this happens and all that. And you're like, oh, great. So I know that's going to happen in the show or the movie. So I try to watch it as fast as I can. That way I could have the experience and all. And this was one of those seasons where you did want the experience. You do want the experience. So if you haven't seen anything, take the time to go watch it before you spoil anything. There's a lot that's out there already. I do have to say episode 4, this is a kind of a spoil. I don't know. Some people did get a little bit upset that I put this up, but I didn't think it was, all right, look, if you don't want to listen to this, go away. If you do, then just stay. But it's kind of like a spoiler, which I kind of think it's not. But yeah, I posted some stuff because of episode 4 was great, and I posted some things on there praising that, it's getting praised a lot. And some people were like, "Why are you spoiling?" I'm like, "Well, there was nothing in the title and the headline or anything. There was nothing there." And I was like, "So I don't think that's really a spoiler." Now, if I told you what happened, what the outcome was, then yeah, I think I would say that's a spoiler. But there wasn't. But I gotta say, episode 4 of Stranger Things, season 4, was an amazing episode. It was just kick butt right there, man. And Sadie Sink gave one of the best performance of her life right there. I swear, I got up right when, I don't know, I was just hooked onto this season, and then by the time when the whole thing happens, like towards like the end, I got up and I didn't even know this was gonna be my reaction to it. But I got up, I covered my mouth, and I could feel like lump in my throat and everything, and the tears were already coming out, and I was like, no. And I kept saying to myself something in my head, like oh my god, I kept saying something, and it was cool because they kind of like play with you, whether yes no, and you kind of just getting mad, are you not, are you not, and all that. And it was an amazing scene right there. And the villain here, Vecna, is pretty cool that they have, like, they're kind of paying homage to like the Freddy Krueger thing and all that, right? Nightmare on Elm Street and all. Robert Englund, who is Freddy Krueger, actually makes an appearance here, like a little cameo. Well, I'm not sure if he's really a cameo. He's actually playing a character in one of the episodes, and it's cool because he's there. And I loved it at the end credits when I saw Robert Englund. It was just amazing, and because this is also paying respect to that time of his movies from that generation and all. And it's really fun to see him right there, kind of connected to another little horror thing. I do gotta say, when I saw the credits to the season 4, I did notice something, and I saw that Jamie Campbell Bower was gonna be in it, and I was like, wait, what the hell? He's in here? I was like, that's pretty cool. I was like, because I know him from like the Twilight, I think, and Harry Potter. I think he might have been in Harry Potter, Twilight and Harry Potter. I know him from some of the stuff from back then, and I was surprised to see his name, and I was wondering who he's gonna play, because I never even saw it in the promotion, like anything of any articles that said, oh, Jamie Campbell Bower is going to be in season 4. I found out right when I saw the first episode, the title, the credits of the actors were there, and I saw his name, and I'm like, oh, damn, he's in it. And I wonder who he was going to play. He does play a character in here. And when I was watching the character that he was playing, I was like, wait, is that just going to be his character like throughout this whole season? I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like something. It seems like that's for like more like a side character or something. And I was like, this guy's like a big name. I was like, he's really just here for that. They got him for that. But then no, he does kind of play an important part in the show. So later on when you see it, he plays an important role in there. So it's not too bad. He's good. I think he did great in here too. It's amazing. So yeah, you guys got to see it to see kind of how it plays. But I was just like, damn, Jamie Campbell Bower's just gonna play this part right here. I mean, that's kind of seems minimal, but no, he actually has an important role kind of to play here. The thing I like about this season 2 is that they're actually using some practical stuff here with the villain Vecna. You probably seen some stills of him. He's all like kind of bloody and everything. His skin's like gone. He looks all burned up. And when I was watching it, I was thinking about it. I was like, is that CGI or is that practical? Because it was confusing. There's a scene in one of the episodes where you see like his whole body, and the way he walked, I was like, that doesn't look like it's CGI. It looks like like a, I don't know how you call it. I've seen it in behind the scenes where they just like plaster stuff on top of you, and the way it looked like around his bottom area, it did look like it was a guy that it looked like an uncomfortable way to move. I'm like, no way, that would have been in like CGI. So there's that thing where I was like, is it CG or is it practical? And then later I saw that it's actual practical, which is amazing because I love 2022 because it's amazing that a lot of people are going back to practical. You guys know my stand on like the Marvel films and all that just overblown with CGI. That's not even impressive to look at. And I think they're missing a lot of the magic of movie making, production making and all that, this is kind of came in like the golden age of television and all that, where they started filming TV shows like movies and all that kind of. So it's cool that they're doing it there. I mean, I'm proud that 2022 actually has Ambulance with practical. It has Top Gun with practical. It has, it's practical on the streets with Ambulance, practical in the sky with Top Gun, practical with horror and Stranger Things and all that. It's amazing, and it's showing like what's kind of like the beauty out of all this stuff, of this creativity and art that gets put into it. So I'm cool with that. There is something that I did notice. This show seems big. It seems like way big. They're putting a lot of money out there. And so this part is good, but it does look like the CG. There's parts that I noticed where it's CG, and I'm like, okay, that look doesn't look at all compared to the other ones. This looks like kind of bad CG, but they use it in parts that aren't that like for the big ones, you know? So I kind of understand that they're probably saving all that money for the parts like with Vecna and all that stuff. But there are some scenes that kind of reminded me. I looked, I was like, oh no, I was like, because it does seem like they're going big. Because I think there's one more season after this, and then Stranger Things sadly is gonna be over already. So yeah, but dude, this thing had me. The thing about this season 4, which is kind of weird because you see all these big studio movies and all that, like Marvel and all that. You know, they always want an award. They beg for these things. But there's nothing to it for me when I go watch them anymore. And it seems like something that's just like stitched together really quick just to go make money off of people. Right here, I actually felt like an emotional depth to it. You know, like I really felt connected the way that, and for something, a show to actually do that, to get me up, to get me kind of, you know, that thing, and to get me excited and to look at something in awe of the way they filmed it, the way the story was and all that. It's just incredible. But it makes me sad that some other people that kind of want to get recognized, they don't do anything like that. And I think this kind of shows them like, you know, this is kind of what you're missing right here. So yeah, I think season 4 of Stranger Things by the Duffer Brothers is great. And I do hope that Sadie gets an award for an Emmy and all that. I can't wait for the next 2 episodes. They said that they couldn't. It's supposed to be a whole season 4, but I think it's 8 and 9 that aren't finished, or 9 and 10 that aren't finished. That is going to come in like 29 days or 28 days now. Yeah, so it just. I think they had to put like money like for the CGI and all that stuff or whatever they're doing. So it's not finished, and they just want to make it look good for the fans and all that. And I think they said that the fans waited long enough, so that's why they released like the first half early. So I don't think it was intended to be like one of those little part 1, part 2. It was just that some of the stuff wasn't finished, and again, the fans have waited long enough already. So yeah, guys, that's my review on the Duffer Brothers Stranger Things season 4. If you guys enjoyed my video, please hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.